What is going on, y'all? GoofyRhexxi here, and hope everybody is doing well. And patch day is finally here, ladies and gentlemen. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We have a meta-breaking war defense team here in the Heroes for Hire squad. We got 2 reworks for Iron Fist and Luke Cage, who are going to be a part of that team. And of course, we're going to go over Misty Knight's kit as well to see how that works, with the team. Also, Kestrel, the Marvel Strike Force original character, she looks amazing. Strong character that has a lot of viability here in different game modes. We're going to be going through that as well. And the S&M team, they are finally getting a rework. Not sure if it's enough, but I'm going to let you guys be the judge of that here, guys. We're going to go through all of this and more in this video, and we're starting right now. All right, y'all, welcome back. And of course, we are actually going to be going through the Heroes for Hire team first. We'll get into Kestrel and the skill military rework a little bit later on, but definitely want to showcase the Heroes for Hire team. And this team is very good. They're supposed to be, like I said, the war breaking meta defense team. Essentially, their idea with this team here is that they're supposed to be sort of a wall, right? They're supposed to, there's a potential chance that you might have to go in, 2 or 3 attacks in order to be able to get this team down. They have a lot of sustain. They're fast. They do damage. There's bleeds. And then there are also these charge mechanics that help them with being able to revive, and then also be able to heal back up to full health. So we're going to go through the entire kits and kind of show you what that looks like here. The Heroes for Hire team also are only going to consist of 4 members right now. That's going to be Misty Knight, Colleen Wing, Luke Cage, and also Iron Fist. My God. The 5th recommended character for that team is Jessica Jones. And even though she does not have the Heroes for Hire tag, she's still the best character because, she doesn't have a team right now. She's plug and play in terms of this team. She already has synergy with Luke Cage and Iron Fist, and provide some other things, utility that you can use Jessica Jones for to make this team work. But this is the model for Misty Knight right now. This is what it looks like. She is in terms of tag, she's a Hero City tech controller, and of course she does have that Heroes for Hire tag. So I'm going to pin over a little bit here and show you what her stats look like, and then we're going to also go through her kit, the rework kits, for Luke Cage and also Iron Fist, which I think does make them better, especially Luke Cage. There's a few significant things that I do think make him a little bit better. Now, in terms of stat for Misty Knights here, we're looking at 218k in health. Now, the health pool doesn't look very high, in comparison to other characters in this game. But I will tell you that won't really be too big of an issue just because of the other buffs that she's going to have in war defense. So I definitely think that you're going to find, value there. There's, damage is not really a great output, but it's decent, right? Armor is good. Focus is actually better. Resistance. And then I wanted to show you guys this too. Because I know that you're probably going to look at it and say, well, Dad, that's not really very good. Speed. She only has 100 speed. But once again, when you look at these kits, that speed is going to get significantly better. So let's pan over to the kits, guys, and, see kind of what things will look like there. All right. So the first thing that we're going to be going through here is Misty Knight's passive. And I'm going to tell you this right now. Misty Knight, she's good. She's very good on this team. She is probably the key to this team. There's a lot of things that all of them do that work very well together. It's a team, right? But overall, man, I will say that Misty Knight seems to be very much the key to this team. I will say, though, that one of the things information that we got, from the team over at Scopely was that they did work very hard to dial back the T4s that are going to be required for this team. They heard our feedback here with regards to, Shadowland, also, skill military, whenever they did reworks for characters, right, they made it very T4 dependent, so they've changed that a little bit here with this team. We're going to see what it looks like actually in game, but they did say that they did change that quite a bit to dial it back, to make it easier for the player base. Also, Misty Knight and Colleen, their ability requirements, their gear requirements, they said are going to be a little bit less, than some of the newer characters that they've been releasing in the game. So we're going to have to see exactly what that looks like in game, of course. But those are 2 things that I did want to share with you guys because I feel like that's That's important. That's important information for you guys to know. But let's go into the kit. So for Misty Knight here, crew captain. So on spawn, on war defense, she's filling speed bar by 20% for self and all hero for higher allies. She's also going to be granting 10 ability energy for all hero for higher allies. Now, the reason why this is important, right, is typically strong defense teams, you try to go in, right, and get an ultimate off or get them to use their special or whatever, right? This doesn't really work with this team because she's going to be granting them a 10 ability energy every single time that you go back into this team. So let's say that Luke Iron Fist uses his ultimate, right? Or Colleen Wing uses her ultimate and special, you know, and now those are on cooldown that you would think that they would be on cooldown. Well, guess what? As soon as you go back in to fight this team, she's going to grant them a 10 ability energy. She's essentially going to boost back up their abilities. So they're going to be maxed and they're going to be ready to go. So that's kind of dangerous. It's a little scary to think about because of how good this team might actually be on war defense. But let's continue to peruse through the rest of the kit here, right? She's also going to be gaining speed up for 2 turns. If this character has 3 or more heroes for higher allies, if health is full and not charged, she's going to be gaining charge. At the end of any turn, if charged and below 50% health, lose 1 charge, clear all negative effects. So she's cleansing herself. She's healing for 100% of this character's max health, gain offense up for 2 turns to deflect, and then also death proof. And second line right here, this is the reason why the charges are actually very important. If charged, she's always going to revive on death and gain 10% damage. The always revive part is the one that's scary, right? I think every single one of these characters have this in their kit, and that makes it extremely dangerous. So you can go in, you can kill a character, but if they have charge, you're gonna revive, right? So you're gonna want to kind of remove some of these charges. I'm thinking maybe Silver Surfer might be a counter to this team, but I don't know. I mean, he's only gonna be removing, I don't remember if it's 1 charge, but it's gonna be kind of hard to go against this team whenever they have those charges. So that's gonna make it a little dangerous here. But on enemy death, also let's continue to read the line, right? Plus 10% damage reduction, plus 175% resistance per charge as well. So they can gain up to 2-3 charges. It's quite a higher percentage of resistance there. On enemy death, apply speed up to 2 random heroes for higher allies or self that do not already have speed up. And then she's gaining 5% dodge chance, 5% per heroes for +5, 4 per heroes for a higher ally. And then on war defense, she's also gaining the 70% focus. So really strong kit, like I said, and I think she's probably the key to this team here. Her and Colleen Wing, I think, are going to be the key to this team. And kind of sort of Luke Iron Fist too, but we'll talk about that a little bit. Actually, Luke Cage, I should say. We'll talk about it a little bit later here. But ultimate ability, she's going to be clearing all positive effects on the primary target and then attacking for 500% damage. Plus, she's going to apply ability block and disrupted. I do want to point out that this is actually outside of war defense that she's going to be able to do this. So looks as if though even outside of war defense, she's still going to have some viability and some usage here. So we'll see how that translates in the game. On war defense, though, this attack targets the enemy with the highest health instead of the primary target, ignoring taunt and stealth. So kind of like that Deadpool thing, right? And then she's gaining 5,000% extra focus for this attack, which is good. So in war, she's pretty much almost for the most part going to be able to apply his ability blocks and disrupted. We saw them in a matchup just absolutely destroying a lot of teams, Shadowland, Blackwater. A lot of it was because of just these extra focus that she's gaining in war. It's really, really strong when you're going against them. Special ability here, attacking the primary target for 350% damage, plus applying stun and heal block. So she's applying a lot of debuffs. Chain to 1 adjacent target for 300% damage, plus applying ability block and heal block as well. Now on war defense, this attack targets the enemy with the highest damage instead of the primary target, ignoring taunt and ignoring stealth. Clear all death proof on all enemy summons, which is an interesting kit here. Plus attack them for 500% damage. This part of the attack cannot be dodged. And she has a lot of those mechanics too, with Colleen Wing not being able to be dodged or not being able to be blocked. She has a lot of that with this kit. Gain 1000% extra focus for this attack as well. And if Colleen Wing is an ally, this attack cannot be blocked. With her basic ability, attack primary target for 330% damage, plus apply defense down, apply offense up to a random Colleen Wing ally. If Colleen Wing is an ally, this attack cannot be blocked. So super strong kit. Like I said, I think she's going to be very important for this team. Now let's go down to Luke Cage here. So some updates on Luke Cage's kit. So no stats I'm seeing so far, for Luke Cage's upgrades, but definitely the kit got better. And I think he got better and is very useful for this team. So basic ability has now changed to always apply assist now to a random hero ally. And if that ally is either a defender character or heroes for hire character, they also gain offense up. So even though Luke Cage himself not increasing in stats, he's applying offense up to an assisted character, which therefore means that his basic does a little bit more damage when you think about it, right? With his special ability, Bring It On, apply regeneration to all defender and heroes for hire allies. So I think that's good. That helps them with a little bit of sustain. Ultimate ability here also got better. Apply defense up to all defender and heroes for higher allies for 2 turns. We expected that coming, right? And then applying 2 deflect and 2 death proofs to self and all heroes for higher allies. So this team has a lot of built-in sustain. The passive is really where it gets very, very, very interesting. So with this passive ability, Power Man, he's getting 10% max health per defender and heroes for higher ally. That's huge. That's huge. That's an increase, in 5% per on spawn. On war defense, this is one of my biggest issues with Luke Cage, is that he doesn't have no speed. The man is slow, but in war defense, he's going to be filling his speed bar by 80%, which means that he's going to be able to do this ability, this ultimate ability, very early. He's going to give them 2 deflect and 2 death proofs very, very early in the matchup, which makes them very difficult to get by, especially with those charges, reducing damage, like this. That stuff just adds up, man. So this team is going to be very solid on war defense. If this character has 3 or more hero for higher allies, if health is full. So kind of very similar to Misty Knight. At the end of any turn, if charge below 50%, lose 1 charge, clear all negative effects, heal for 100%. 100% of his max health, gain offense up for 2 turns, 2 deflect. My God. And of course, once again, he has this too. If charge, always revive on death, gain 10% damage, plus 10% damage reduction, plus 75% resistance per charge. Super, super, super good, guys. And then for Iron Fist. So Iron Fist is another good damage dealer for this team. If you have high reds on Iron Fist, if you built him up, you're going to get some really solid value out of Iron Fist now. With his special ability, he's clearing all negative effects from self and all hero for higher allies, right? We had to add in the heroes for higher allies there. Then he's also going to heal self and all defender and all heroes for higher allies for 30% of this character's max health. Before it was 10%, but now it's going to be 30%. So like I said, high health, high reds, he's going to be doing a ton of healing, for this team. With his ultimate ability on war defense, this attack targets the enemy with the highest damage instead of the primary target, ignoring taunt and stealth, and no longer has a chance to gain offense down. So that's going to help him with being able to dish out some damage. But really his value here, I think, is going to be his ability to heal the team. It's going to be that 30%, right? That's going to be big, for him with his passive ability, very similar to the rest of the passives here. Unspawn, heal self, defender, and all heroes for higher allies for 30% of this character's max health. On turn, 40% chance to heal self and defender. So they're kind of just adding, the tags here, not really changing much of the percentages. And he, once again, gains the same thing, the charges, the deflects, things like that, the damage reduction, the increased damage, a lot of that stuff he's also gaining. So heroes for hire looks extremely good, right? They look very good. There was some footage here with them dismantling Black Order fairly easily. Shadowland literally had no chance against this team. So that's what it looked like in video footage. We're gonna have to see, of course, how exactly this works, in game, but based on what we're seeing so far, very good team. War defense, so not as exciting, but still very good. And if there's some top players in the game that have already invested into, some of these defender characters, you're going to find a lot of value here, I think, from this team. All right, so this is what Kestrel looks like in the game. She's the Marvel Strike Force original character, which you guys already knew, right? So there was an article that came out yesterday that kind of just explained the idea and the thought process, behind this character. And I will say, I mean, even though from a visual perspective, the character doesn't really strike me, that's just me personally, as being like an important, a great character. What I will say though is that just based on her kit, I think she's going to be very, very, very good in this game. They talked about her potentially being, rivaling, or not rivaling, but being very similar to being as good as Silver Surfer. I still think that Silver Surfer is a little bit better than Kestrel, but I can definitely say that Kestrel is very good and it's going to be very plug and play. She has these tags here, both tech and skill. She's going to be a blaster. She's also going to be cosmic. So you can use her in a lot of these raids, right? There's a lot of Greek raids. There's the Doom raids that I think she's going to have a lot of viability in. And we're going to be going through the kit a little bit later. What I wanted to actually show you guys was just some of her stats here, which I think are pretty good, right? So at level 75, gear tier 14, this is where her health is 269,000. You also have 18,000 damage, which, she's going to get offense up and stuff like that. So that damage is going to actually be given a little bit more damage output. Armor is very good too. Reduces some of that damage. Focus is good. Resistance is good. Crit damage. And this right here is really good too. She has very, very, very good speed. And that bodes well if you're using her with some other teams, or you're going against some other teams, let's say for war, where they're fast, you want to be able to get a speed advantage. Kestrel is very good for that. If you want to use her with some other characters too, that speed can even be increased. But we'll talk about some potential characters that she can work with a little bit later. Now, in terms of her kit, we're going to be going through same thing again, guys, same rotation, right? We're going to go and look at her passive because I think that there's a lot of things that sticks out here to me that makes her very good, man. Makes her very good. So unspawned, she's gaining charge plus offense up for 2 turns. So remember, we talked about, hey, damage is 18,000, not super high, but with offense up for 2 turns, that's a pretty big deal, right? On turn, she's also going to be healing for 20% of her max health. She's going to be clearing all negative effects from self. And if negative effects are removed, she heals herself for 5% per negative effect remove, right? So I think one of those, you're looking at, what potential teams could you use her on, or what potential, teams could you use her as a counter to, right? Well, she can be used against some of those heavy debuff teams, like your Marauders, right? Or your Black Order teams. Obviously, she's not going to be the single-handed character that's going to defeat them, right? But you're going to be able to use her on some of those comps and get some pretty solid, benefits out of it. Somebody also mentioned using her with Scientist Supreme. Scientist Supreme gives her negative effects, so if and then when it comes back around to her turn, she can heal, for 5% per those negative effects remove. That's something that you could do too. But yeah, either way, very strong. There's something else in her kit, man, in her passive that's actually even better. On turn, if charge and let's pause again, right? On turn, if charge and any enemy has attempted to summon or clone this match, then she will clear charge. This is a little out of place, but when you read it with this line right here, it makes a little bit more sense. While this character has charge, enemies cannot summon or clone. This is a big deal, right? Obviously, Sinister. That's automatically what comes to your mind, right? If you're facing Asgardians on defense, hella, this is like a massive, massive deal. Sinister can't clone, and then Greg cannot respawn, right? So you're not going to have to worry about that speed, also hella being able to reheal again. You're not gonna have to worry about that. But another factor too that, we talked about, prior to, this video here was Phoenix. So Phoenix is a character. If you kill Phoenix, Dark Phoenix is a summon. So if you go against her now, Kestrel is going to prevent Dark Phoenix from summoning on the field. So This is actually super crazy, super crazy. Obviously, you're probably not going to be putting Phoenix on defense, but actually, you might now, right? Because a lot of players are putting Phoenix on defense because Beast is no longer on that team. Kestrel is going to be an absolute, counter to any sort of Phoenix-led teams, any sort of uncanny X-Men teams that Phoenix is at the helm. You're going to lose that opportunity there for Dark Phoenix to be crazy, which it's kind of sad when you think about it, but hey, I mean, it is what it is. Kestrel's kit is very strong. Now, other parts of her kit: on ally turn, if an enemy with defense down is attacked, attack the most injured enemy for 400% damage. Remember, that is a big deal. She's going to have offense up. Gain 20% max health. If at least one ally is cosmic, so think about Surfer's cosmic, or even villain characters are cosmic too, right? Or Nick Fury, gain 20% additional max health. So yeah, there's some synergy here with Nick Fury. Nick Fury allies also gain 40% max health. Now, Nick Fury is out of the meta, right? He's probably not a great character that you're going to be using anymore, but there are these beta raids where you have the skill tech lane. Some players have already built up Nick Fury, so there's going to be at least some sort of synergy that you have with Kestrel and Nick Fury. I think that makes Nick Fury better, obviously, being able to have the additional health. And there's a lot of really good things that Nick Fury does. The assist, he also can apply and transfer those positive effects, to his allies. So I do think that if you choose to use Nick Fury with her, it's probably most likely going to be for those skill tech, those beta raids, maybe not for those doom raids. You're probably going to want to find some other options, but at least, if you're for those beta raids or those Greek raids, you're going to have some viability there if you choose to use Nick Fury with her. Now, with her ultimate ability, she starts off with this ability right off the bat, 6 out of 6, clear all positive effects from primary target. Super good. Apply defense down to the primary target for 2 turns and attack for 600% piercing. Very good again, guys, right? Gain 5,000% extra focus for this attack. Characters killed by this attack cannot be revived. So she has that Black Bolt, that Black Bolt thing in her too, which I think is also very big. So Minerva, sorry, boo-boo, you ain't gonna be able to revive nobody. Special ability here, 4 out of 4. She starts off with this again, attacking the primary and adjacent targets for 270% damage, plus applying defense down for 2 turns to each target. So she's applying a lot of defense downs. Repeat this attack 1 additional time. Oof, okay, so that's kind of similar to Yellow Jacket, but better, of course, but similar to Yellow Jacket. Apply speed up for 2 turns, plus defense up for 2 turns, plus immunity for 2 turns to self. So she's giving herself a lot of buffs too. This attack is unavoidable and it cannot be blocked. With her basic ability here, he's attacking the primary target with 370% damage, plus applying defense down for 2 turns. Again, those defense downs. Chain to 1 adjacent target for 310% damage, plus apply defense down for 2 turns. Counter attack breaks this chain. So she's very strong. She's a very strong blaster. She's a massive damage dealer. I could definitely see her being used for those doom raids. Obviously, I talked about the beta raids, and of course, for war offense too, right? Being able to use her against some of those big teams, right? Black Order and Marauders. She definitely has a lot of viability there. So Kestrel, definitely worth the hype and a very strong character. Right, and last but certainly not least here is the rework to the Skill Military team. So obviously Skill Military is going to be very important, right? We have, a flash event that's supposed to be rolling back around or supposed to be coming out here for trading mats. So Skill Military is going to be your option to use for them. So this rework is important also for players who put a lot of investment into Skill Military. You're going to be able to get some better usability. Now, what they focused on with this rework for Skill Military is kind of giving you more flexibility in regards to who you can use on this team. There's some characters here that are going to be a little plug and play, like Killmonger. We're going to talk about Black Widow, and also being able to just give them a little bit more sustain. So we'll kind of go through that now. With Punisher, not really much has changed here, but the biggest thing that I wanted to point out is they've removed this if this character has 3 or more Skill Military allies transfer 1 positive effect. Now what they've done, which makes it easier for you to actually use characters with this team, is you can just automatically right off the bat transfer 1 positive effect. So no more do you have to worry about having 3 or more Skill Military characters there. They've also done this too with the ultimate ability, change it there. 3 or more skilled military allies. They've got rid of that line. With Killmonger, they've done the very same thing, got rid of the 3 or more skilled military allies. With Black Widow, they have now added the military tag. She already, of course, right, has the skill tag. So now she's going to be having the military tag as well. Her new ability here is that she's going to be clearing. So gain stealth for 2 turns, clear all negative effects from self, clear 1 negative effect from Avenger, and also skill military allies, which I think is a big deal. I mean, her being able to clear negative effects. I think this ability has to be T4 though, in order for her to clear the negative effect. But either way, her being able to do that for skill military, I think would be viable. She's also going to be able to apply speed up to skill military allies for up to 2 turns. With her ultimate ability, she's also going to be doing the same thing, right? Transfer 1 positive effect, excluding taunt, from primary target to self and skill military allies. If Hawkeye, Red Guardian, or Yelena are an ally, always change to 3 targets. That's good. With her passive ability, the new passive ability does this. So it's pretty much basically essentially just including, some of the characters. So gain 50% speed. This is applied after any character has taken any action on self or ally stealth. Apply offense up to self and all skill military allies. So I think that's pretty big. Apply death proof to all Hawkeye, Yelena, and Red Guardian allies. Yelena, that's going to be big, for her because she is a little squishy. Yes, she does get into stealth, but that's still going to be a big deal. Gain assist now on allied Hawkeye, Red Guardian, or Yelena's turn. So obviously, if it's T4 now, you're going to be getting constant assist. So Black Widow, they don't want to take her off the Wave 1 Avengers team, but they want to give you some more flexibility. If you wanted to use Black Widow in certain matchups against other teams, you have the option to be able to use Black Widow there. For Yelena, they've added where this attack cannot be blocked. I think part of the issue was that a lot of the time she would be going into these deflects, right? And she just wasn't able to land those abilities, land those disrupteds. I feel like you're still going to have to worry. There's still going to be a focus check. So I don't know if this is going to change this is going to guarantee that she's going to be able to land those disrupted for 2 turns. So we're going to have to see, because like I said, I mean, yes, it's not going to be blocked, but there's no focus check on the special. So we're going to have to see how that actually works in war. They might still need to revisit that one, in my opinion. And then with Yelena's ultimate ability, same thing. If this character has speed up, all skill military allies get 100% accuracy. So previously before, I think it was, I don't see the accuracy here. I'm sorry. It's late. I'm probably not reading this right here, but she's giving them 100% accuracy. And on war offense at the end of any turn, if a non-protector skill military ally is taunting, clear taunt and apply stealth for 2. Apply stealth plus 2 regeneration to them. So this is big because you want to make sure that Red Guardian is always taking on those hits, right? You don't want any other character to be, had to have taunt on them. So I think that this is actually pretty good, for that team. With Red Guardian, only his passive has changed. He's applying defense up for 2 turns to stealth and then also skill military allies now too. So that's changed from, I think it was just gain taunt and defense up. Now it's going to apply defense up for 2 turns to himself and then also skill military allies. Merc Soldier, same thing again, changing the 3 or more to just be able to transfer 1 positive effect. And then also they've added this attack cannot be blocked or counterattack. So the same thing for me, again, in my opinion, is there's still a focus check. So is he going to be able to apply the bleeds? Those are big things that have not been answered. Like I said, they might need to revisit this because I'm not sure that it's doing exactly what they desire for it to do. Like, it's cute. Sounds cute, but I'm not sure exactly if that's going to solve the issue of the problem here. And then with this passive ability, there is a little bit of a damage boost. So 40% damage, again, 40%, 50% health, right? This is a big stat boost. So this is actually the reason why I think even Merc Soldier is still going to be very important for this team, because now he's giving them 50% max health. Skill military allies, 50% max health, 40% damage. That's a big deal. That's a big jump from 20 now going to 30%. I still think Merc Soldier is going to be important for this team. So I think if you're going to run this team, you're definitely going to want to have Yelena, Red Guardian, Merc Soldier on this team. And then, probably Black Widow and Black Widow and probably Punisher on the team, or You know, sometimes you may be able to throw in Killmonger. It's really going to be up to you. But I think their idea here was trying to make it so that you had a little bit more flexibility with what you did with the skill military team. So let me know, guys, do you think this is enough, you know, of a rework here for this team to be viable in war? What are your thoughts on Kestrel? I think she looks great. Heroes for Hire also looks very, very good on war defense. But once again, it's a war defense team. But there does seem to be some viability with this team outside of war. You know, just not sure exactly what that is yet. We're going to have to do some testing and see how those things work. But appreciate you guys watching the video. Also, make sure that you guys watch the other Envoy videos too as well. Appreciate you guys so very much. Y'all be blessed. Y'all be safe.